$494,000. The site's low net operating income is a result of its low occupancy, which was at 36% in January 2021, 40% occupancy in January 2022, and 51% occupancy in January 23. A direct cap of the site's net operating income indicates values below $2.5 million for each year, which is well below what we are requesting. We also completed a market income and expense approach, which assumes the property can increase its performance above what it's currently operating at. With a triple net market rent of $15 per square foot and a 75% occupancy, our indicated value for the subject is $4.2 million. Finally, we did complete a sales comparison approach. As mentioned, there are a lack of comparable properties for this site in Williston, so there is only one true comparable, and that was the office/retail building located at 107 8th Avenue West. The sale comparable was constructed in 2015 and totals 7,372 square feet. It sold for $139 per square foot, and after a standard size adjustment, this supports a value well below the subject's assessment. Lastly, the property owners have been exploring the option of selling this site as it's one of their lowest performing properties. CBRE completed a broker opinion of value in November 2021, which estimates the value of the main parcel, which is what we're appealing here, at $4,418,000. Additionally, ERES completed another broker opinion of value more recently in October 2023. This opinion estimated the subject's value between $3,556,000 and $4,477,000 for an average of $4,016,000. Overall, based on the data available to us of both the subject's income, our market income analysis, sales comparison, as well as the two broker opinion of values, we're requesting a reduction from $5,269,350 to $4,418,000.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
As a point of clarification, the building that he is referencing as a sales comp is the small strip mall by MDU that has Ree's Taqueria and hair salon and a smoke store. So that's what he is comparing the sale to. That sale happened after in 2022. Our analysis takes place in 2021 sales.
Okay. Any other comments?
Darcy, you mentioned that, can you repeat that again about the sales, approach, I guess, that he's referring to?
Yep. So the sales that he included in the information packet, only one of them is in our area that we have to compare to. So, and that sale didn't happen within the time frame. So we have to look at sales that happened in 2021 for the 2022 sale.
Okay, sorry, and I meant revenue.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I apologize.
Oh, the income method, yes. So we don't use the income method for this. So the income method would be we would have to get a good selection of all the income and expenses from other properties like this, find out what the market is, and then reapply it back what that rate would be. I will say that this building, in reference to their vacancy, they are advertising rates that are twice the market rate, so their vacancy is based off of a rate that's not reflected in the market.
And it's hard to do the market rate because we don't often get a participation, is that correct?
Yes, and we have found that it's more, there aren't as many, so we would have to have a bigger selection that would return information. We do this with the apartments, and we get barely enough to make a study out of it, and I can't imagine for the smaller amount that we would get any
Okay.
response. Business owners, especially retail and office space, are very protective of their income and expenses.
Sure.
So you're saying there's not enough information to determine a market rent, which I think is reasonable. I mean, that's part of our struggle when we're looking to value these properties as well. And that's why we are focusing on subject's actual income. But then you also go on to say that the subject's asking rent is twice the market rent. How can that be the case?
I was just
There's not enough-
clarifying, a vacancy point. Not that we base it off of the market, I'm just saying that that this building, as a clarification for the vacancy, the market rent the market does not support their rents, which would be why they are vacant.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I think, what I would say to that, and I said this at the last board meeting as well, it's just, in my opinion, the property owners are competent property owners, and anyone that owns a property is going to try to maximize the revenue that they're generating from that property. So I've noticed that the signed rents that they're signing are below the asking rents. I think people looking to lease the building know that there's negotiation available. I just think it's unreasonable to say that the property owners aren't trying their best to maximize the income of this building. They wouldn't just keep rents high if they knew there was no interest, and if they knew that a lower rent could lease up the building, they would do that.
Understood. Any other questions or comments? Okay, third and final time. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and we'll turn it over to the board.
Excuse me. I would make a motion to follow staff's recommendations.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Brenda, roll call vote, please.
David?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Darcy. Okay, moving on to the auditor and the beer and liquor license Fastlane 29.
So Dwayne came and let us know that he's had some issues with the Fastlane 29 bar passing their fire inspection. So he presented the documents to us to bring in front of you guys. We did keep this one separate from the other ones on the consent agenda so that it could be discussed, and he is here for any questions that you may have.
Okay. Any questions?
I guess what's the path forward from here? I guess there's been 2 inspections and both have failed.
So yes, essentially what in 2017, you guys passed a ordinance 2017-12-19 where we set up a inspection fee. Basically, they get the first and 1 re-inspection free. They had to pay for any other inspections past that if they continued to fail. So just a little timeline, back in May of 2016, my emails went out to all of our liquor license to set up the time for inspection. I did not hear back from the Fastlane at that time. I gave him all summer. On August 31st, I went out to the property. At that time, I found a person living in the bar at that time, along with several other fire violations. I failed them at that inspection. The person was told that they had to vacate the premise immediately. It took them about a week to get out of there. Talking with the state health, because they followed up as well with that. I did not hear anything back. My normal policy is you complete something, give me a call, I'll come out and we'll do the inspection, so we don't have to wait for 30 or 60 days for the inspection. On October 31st, I went back out to do the inspection, and the gentleman that was there previous had left. There was still some bedding that I'd consider in the area. I said that had to be removed. Along with that, nothing else in the fire code that was stated in my reports had been touched or addressed. On my way back in on the 31st, Mr. Berg called me about halfway back to town, said, "Oh, I just missed you," and tried to tell me what was going on. I said, well, in order for me to come out, I explained that he has to call my office, pay the fee, and set up a time for me to come out for the third inspection for the year. As of today, we have not heard from the owner of the 29, so I have to assume that nothing has been fixed. So that brings it to your decision on what you want to do. This is only this year's instance with this company. I have 7 years going back throughout all those years of multiple violations, a lot of them recurring, where they fix to a point, but then they fall back to where they are right now, so.
Okay. Pretty cut and dried. What are the wishes of the board?
What's the expiration date on the liquor license?
I believe it would be December 31st.
What are our options? Yeah.
As far as the options, one would be to revoke their license for next year till they come into compliance. Or, technically they do have till the 31st, but that, technically we do have that meeting on the 28th that they could come into compliance with for a vote. Otherwise, the license would lapse due to following the fire inspection. I do know the state health went out there last night, and I have not heard of what they found on their inspection at this time, but they were doing a follow-up as well as their yearly in regards to my inspection. So technically, according to their policy, they can't have a restaurant license without a passing of the fire inspection as well. So it's kind of a domino effect when it comes to different licensings, so.
Brenda, have they filed an application and paid for 2024,
I do not know if they have or not. Carrie did not come down to the meeting, and she's the one that handles those.
Most applicants would have by now, I would assume, right? I mean, in years past?
You would think, but not always.
When I was, talking with the auditors last week and with Carrie, they still had not filed. From what I was informed, they usually wait to the very last couple days to file their, application.
Okay,
I guess in this, Word or Excel document with all the county liquor license, there's taxes paid, fire inspection, application returned, payment. So application returned, is that the liquor license application?
Bueller?
Bueller? So,
I believe it is. I don't work on that end, but I believe that is.
who creates this liquor license document? Is this Beth?
That would be Carrie.
Okay. I was just, the application returned, I wonder if that's a liquor license application and then payment, must be payment for said liquor license application?
I'm actually looking for where you're referring to that.
So in the consent agenda, there's a Excel document. In, let's see. Item 10 in the consent agenda, 2024 liquor establishments, brings us a Excel document. And then there's half a dozen establishments in there. You see that now? Okay. So where it says failed as per Williams County Fire Inspector, there's a big red box up above application returned. Is that liquor license application?
Yes, that would be the liquor license application.
Okay.
And it shows everybody else has paid.
Correct.
So Fast Lane is the only one that is not.
So I would say, I mean, Karen, would it be, at this time, we'd send a letter saying, this is what's going on, you know, your license expires on the 31st?
Well, first you might want to wait, because Helen went to go get Carrie to maybe answer some of the questions you might have first. So she'll be done here in a couple minutes.
Insert
well,
elevator. music.
irregardless, I guess in my mind, irregardless if it has been paid or hasn't been paid, he's still in violation of the fire code.
Agreed.
That's the issue here, I guess,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And since we do have one more meeting, there
Yes.
is a possibility to get them in compliance.
I would suggest maybe then that we, Dwayne, you either give him a call or go out there and tell them that they have till December 27th for you to inspect it. And if nothing's been done by the meeting on the 28th, then we, revoke the permit for 2024.
That work?
And I'll make that a motion if we need it.
Okay, we have a motion to basically deny the application for renewal on the liquor license pending the fire inspection. Is that correct, David? Did I summarize that correctly?
Unless he comes into compliance by December 27th.
Okay. All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Brenda, roll call vote.
Steve?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay,
So Carrie, sorry, we had you come down. The question I asked on this Excel spreadsheet is what line F just says application returned and then G is payment for the liquor license. Is the application, is that for liquor license?
Yes, except for the 29 Mile hasn't turned in anything.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what we were wondering, so thank you.
perfect.
Dwayne, do you keep in contact then with the sheriff's office to make sure that they're aware of this or the auditor's office so that they make sure that they're closed at midnight on the 31st?
The auditor's office does follow up with them.
Okay, moving on to the community engagement coordinator. Helen, I believe you're going to handle this for Lindsay? And Lindsay may be on the phone. Oh, she's not, okay. Well, she, sick kid.
All right, we'll go in the order that you have them on the agenda. 2 grants, 1 behavioral health and 1 tourism. Lindsay has met with the applicant and they have a need for an extension, and she has vetted that through to make sure it's reasonable within our programs and appropriate for what they have going on. So we have Milestone Health Partners. The extension is for the hiring of a psychologist. That was the initial grant approval, and it extends the whole piece of their grant award from 12/31 of '23 to 12/31 of 2025. And then there's an additional year to do some reimbursement, so it pushes it out to 2026. We do have other grants in that timeline, so it isn't an unusual move for us. The second would be the Fort Union Association. It is a tourism grant, and it's an extension of marketing funds from 12/31 of '23 to 4/30 of '24.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve both grant requests.
okay. Is there a second? Oh. Is there a second?
Second.
And then we do need permission for the chairman to sign the modified agreements as well.
And authorize the chairman to sign.
Okay,
That's right, second.
all right, perfect. Amended, and we have a motion and a second. Is there any other comments? Hearing none. Brenda, roll call vote.
Barry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes,
Bo?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. We make what we call annual contributions to several community organizations or maybe even political subdivision organizations. And we do have a process now for completing that work. There are agreements with all of them. I can list off that what we're looking for today is approval for the 2024 allocations would be the Family Crisis Shelter, Tri-County Regional Development Council, the Upper Missouri Valley Fair Association, and the Williams County Historical Society. So again, Lindsay has gone through the work, has the agreements in place with them. So we just need your authorization to disperse those funds.
Okay,
I would so move and authorize the chairman to sign.
okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Brenda, roll call vote.
David?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes,
Yes.
motion passes.
The Western Education Regional Cooperative, formerly known as the Greater Northwest Education Cooperative, is the organization that right now is coordinating the county spelling bee. Back in the day, it was the county that coordinated that spelling bee, and part of our ongoing effort to support that activity for our youth is that the county provides some annual funding to help support the sort of the expenses of the day. So that's a $200 amount each year. And it's been something that we didn't list on our annual contributions, but decided that we should add it and just have it on the regular rotation. So there is a new agreement in place, which we'd like your permission to have the chairman sign. And then, of course, authorization to disperse these funds after the spelling bee.
Okay, what are the wishes of the board?
I would.
Motion to approve and authorize chairman to sign.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Brenda, roll call vote.
Steve?
Yes,
Bo?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
motion passes.
Williams County entered an agreement to work with Train ND on a project that we came to be called Vertipads, and it's about drones and let's call them landing zones related to how drones might work in ag and or commercial business.
That company has had a name change, now called Dragonfly Pads, and there needs to be an extension based on their use of other grants and trying to get the work done. So we do have a request in front of you for an extension from 12/31 of '23 to 12/31 of '24, asking the chairman to sign the modified agreement. The amendment to the agreement will include the name change and the extension date.
And additional clarification on that is that the Star Fund is also a contributor to this project, and we'd like to see where they end up here if the extension were to be approved by the board. So what are the wishes of the board?
I would make a motion to approve the extension for Vertipads and have chairman sign.
Let's call it Dragonfly
Oh, there we go.
Pads.
Dragonfly pads, there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, Brenda, roll call vote, please.
Bo,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes,
David,
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
motion passes.
This board previously approved 3 matching grants, and this was a program that we started and I believe will kind of cease in 2023, but it's for matching of funds for an organization that has some other grant dollars coming in, but just needs that local match. So we have 3 of them. The final agreements are included in your packet, so we're looking for permission to have those signed. Just note that one of the things we're doing to try and help facilitate this a little more smoothly is that there is a stipulation that we can administratively approve a 6-month extension if needed on some of these, just because we see that sometimes the timing of a deadline can get tricky.
Arranging contractors, et cetera.
Right, yep. So authorization for the chairman to sign as they have been presented or sort of amended.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, Brenda, roll call vote.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes,
Bo.
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, last one. You know that Williams County receives dollars that must be used for tourism or, promotion of things and places in Williams County. One of the exciting things that we've identified will happen in 2024 is that Lewis and Clark State Park will have their 50th anniversary. And so the proposal in front of you is for Williams County to partner with Lewis and Clark State Park on some of the promotion and tourism related aspects of that celebration. Again, using those funds that we have that can only be used for tourism related activities or expenses. And so I think you see in front of you, Lindsay has put some work into, we do have people here from Lewis and Clark State Park today, has put some work into coordinating with Katie to have a plan. You can see that there are timelines and deadlines involved, making sure that we're all on the same page as we enter into what will be our help in Lewis and Clark celebrating their 50th anniversary. We certainly see Lewis and Clark State Park as an important part of what might draw people into our community or draw people from the urban parts of our county out into the rural areas.
Perfect. Do we want to allow Katie and Cole to
If they want to talk, they can.
Sure. Come on up. It is a important park, and I know I've been a frequent user of the park in the past, so.
Hi, good morning. I didn't really prepare anything, but for the record, my name is Catherine Ogden. I am the State Park Manager at Lewis and Clark State Park. We are very excited to commemorate our 50th anniversary here in 2024. And being that we are located in Williams County, we are very excited for the opportunity to have a partnership with you guys to work towards marketing of each event. We will have one event scheduled every single month throughout 2024 to help celebrate this event. and just very excited to partner with you guys. Cool.
Yeah, and for the record, Cole Garman. I work out of the central office in Bismarck. I'm the outreach and engagement chief there. So, yeah, working with Katie and came into town, and we were looking for funds, and we're very excited for this opportunity. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what are we requesting here? I'm sorry, did I miss something?
Believe it is a total of 20,000, yep.
Yep, so it's $20,000, but this board needs to approve the expenditure of those funds in the partnership. Yep.
That is-
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, Lindsay's on the phone.
So just to clarify, Commissioner Montgomery, there was already $40,000 budgeted in the tourism budget for next year and 4 county projects. So this request is to utilize 20,000 of that to put towards this partnership. So it's technically part of the budget for next year, but this would be the specific allocation for it from a project standpoint, doing the tourism partnership and then doing the 2 disbursements of $10,000 each.
Thank you for clearing that, Miss Harriman. Appreciate it.
Okay, what are the wishes of the board?
Make a motion to approve tourism partnership and the terms and authorize the chairman to sign.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please, Brenda.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes,
Bo,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
motion passes. Thank you.
I was wondering if I get to teach ice fishing 101, rule number 1, you need ice.
I think it would be good if all 5 commissioners participate in the Dino dig.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Mammoths. Okay. Dennis, you're up. County Highway.
Okay, it's been brought to our attention that we're a little low on our fees for our projects, routes that we're trying to build or repair or fix or whatever. We're at $1,200 an acre for easements. I've checked with the neighboring counties. Montreal's at 2,000 they pay for easements, and Mackenzie is 2,000. These are averages. And thanks to RC helped with the land sales of this year in Williams at 2,150. Average prices. 2,150 is the average here.
What's your recommendation?
We've been getting a lot of heat, which at $1,200, and they're buying the land for average 2,100, you know, and then we offer them 1,200 too. It's not quite there.
And here an amount to my question.
Well, would it be, seeing how we know it's 2,150 is the average, but like Mackenzie and Montreal are both at 2. You know, because that average really, I mean, because you get into things where people are buying, you know, 5-6 acres or something for a home place, or, you know, I mean, that's not really farmland. So 2 would be, I think 2,000 an acre would be a pretty good, would be a fair amount anyway.
You usually come to us anyway, Dennis, don't you, if it's over that amount?
No, when you guys set the rates, that's what we pay. We've paid 1,200 up until the end of this year, unless you change it today.
Well, I would make a motion that we raise the rate up to 2,000 an acre.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any additional discussion? Okay, hearing none. Brenda, roll call vote.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, Kelly, NDSU extension update. We've got the whole crew.
Thank you for allowing us to come and give you an update. Since it's close to year end, we thought we should probably check in. So it's been a pretty busy fall. I'm going to let these ladies talk first. So I'm Kelly Leo.
I'm Caitlin Jesperson, Family and Community Wellness. Should I go? Okay. Okay, so I guess year end, I guess I'll just talk about what I do have coming up. Kids are going on Christmas break, and so I have babysitting trainings planned for Christmas break because it's always a popular class to get kids CPR certified. And then going into the new year, I have a bunch of On the Move, which is a nutrition training. I get to go into the classrooms and teach kids about My Plate and eating healthy, not drinking so much soda and sugary drinks. And also a baking school. There'll be virtual baking school with a few different counties, so they get to learn how to bake bread, where does wheat come from, all those things. And there's also a Nourish, or basically adult health class that NDSU just rolled out with. And so I'm going to try and get that into some maybe job worksite wellnesses and try to push it that way because it's meant for the older adult and maybe help out that way. There's also a new idea I had with Wellness Wednesdays, possibly, and trying to maybe every Wednesday have a little health tidbit about something that's going on in the community. Do you have a question? Oh, sorry, I think I cut you off.
Nope.
No? Okay. And I know we have Bread Fair coming up, but that's in February, and so we're kind of getting ready for Bread Fair, and that's always a big exciting thing for all the fifth graders in the area and learning about where their ingredients come from locally, and then also the nutrition behind making bread. So
How many kids are involved in that?
that last year, how many? It was like
We have about
15.
1,600 signed up for this year, and that's not comprehensive yet. We'll add more.
Yeah, because there's several counties that,
Wow.
that do it now.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of dough, a lot of mess.
Yeah, it's a lot of mess. A lot of fun though.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Hi, Blanche Wagner, parent educator for NDSU Extension. I started in September, and so I've just kind of been running, trying to get the community's input on needs of our communities. In November and December, I hosted one of the parenting classes. It was Active Parenting First 5 Years at the community library. It consisted of 4 sessions, and I've also started baby signs class at the library during baby time on Thursdays, and this will go until the end of January. Coming up, I have Basic Beginnings, which is a program for parenting young children. That'll be during the day at the North Star Human Service Zone. That'll be starting in January. Active Parenting First 5 Years facilitated in Spanish. I found a Spanish facilitator, and so that will be at the community library from 6 to 7:30 on Thursdays in January. I've been working with Williston Basin School District, Future Coyotes, pre-kindergarten to offer Gearing Up for Kindergarten starting February through April. And what that is it's for incoming kindergarten students and their parents. So they have a session where the parents and the children work together doing different activities, and then they split apart, and the kids continue with classroom teachers, and then the parents will come with me, and we'll do some work on some information about best practices to guide and prepare their child for school and build those relationships, and also to identify kind of where the readiness skills are and where they need to be. And I've also been working with various people in the community in both Williston and Watford to brainstorm ideas for April, which is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So a lot of things on the table, a lot of good things happening.
Fantastic. Thank you, Blanche.
I went last because I have a lot, so I'll try to be as brief as I can, but it's been a pretty busy fall, and I'm taking some much-needed time off this month, so I've, as you'll be able to tell, but we had our first Extension Advisory Council meeting in September to help guide our programming going into the future, so we got a lot of good feedback, but we're going to actually kick that off after the first of the year and meet more on a regular basis. We're going to try to meet quarterly, and that helps to guide the needs from the community side. I had a livestock in-service training in October. We always go get trained on any issues in livestock. I did wheat midge soil survey sampling, which is great information. It leads to new variety, within new varieties of wheat that are midge resistance, has midge resistance genes in it. So that information is important, and I spend a couple weeks walking fields for that. I also helped the Wheat Commission collect durum and spring wheat samples that determine kind of our milling quality year to year, and that data has been collected now for quite a few years, and so that really gives good feedback on varieties for producers on what they should be growing. Forage testing's been ongoing. We had a great year. I know a lot of people can't say that, but I know that from the forage sampling and the water testing I did this year, I didn't have a lot of toxic water samples. I did have a few that were positive for cyanobacteria later in the summer, but the nice thing about this year was that we didn't have a lot of cattle deaths. I think we only had 6 that were reported to me. So that livestock water sampling is a really great program that we offer, and we can get out there quick and get those taken. The forage sampling, same thing. We did not have any reportable deaths up until this fall. We had a couple this fall, but forage sampling is important on annual forages to determine nitrate levels and cyanide as well. We kicked off our new 4-H year in October, and I think we kind of reported that last time. As expected, we saw a pretty large influx of homeschool students this year, which is something somewhat new to our program, and we have actually 2 clubs that are homeschool clubs now, and they meet regularly, and they've been really active and excited about everything we're offering. We have a lot of classes going right now. We had sewing that goes year-round with the Lutheran ladies at First Lutheran Church. They meet twice a week, and those classes fill immediately, and they stay full all year. And those are great volunteers for us. We have ceramics with Hanson's Unlimited. They have taken that on and offered that to our 4-H kids as well, along with the James Memorial Art Center. Archery kicked off once again, record numbers in archery. Thanks to the Missouri Basin Bowman organization, we are able to use their facility, and we meet once a week so as to not interrupt their schedule. But we vary anywhere from 50 to 70 kids a week, and we have 7 volunteer archery instructors right now, which is an all-time high for us because of the response of the youth, and so that's really great. In November, we hosted, along with North Dakota Farm Bureau, we put together the Special Assignment Pizza along with the Williston Area Chamber of Commerce Ag Committee. Next year, that will be a function within our office. They asked us because Extension's good at organizing things. So the North Dakota Farm Bureau will be our partner in that. We'll offer that through Extension next year. The chamber just feels like it fits better with us, and so we're going to take that on next year. We saw over 200 youth at that event this year, and it's super fun. They get to build a pizza, basically, or they get to talk about how to build a pizza, and we talk about all of our North Dakota ag industry. I also hosted Annie's Project this fall, first 6-week Women in Ag program. This was my first time hosting this, and so it was kind of a lot of work. We had about 19 speakers, I believe, throughout the event in the 6 weeks, and Amber took part in that, and it was a really great program. I loved the 10 ladies that took part. They just were super. That was a first for me, and it hasn't been offered here since 2017, so it was nice to get that back. We also kicked off livestock judging this fall. I'm working with Jesselyn Bachler at Williston State College, and she is my coach for this year, and I'm also assisting her with that. So we just kicked that off last week, so that's a nice partnership. Jesselyn and I are starting to work together on a lot of programs, so that partnership is really growing for us, and I think Williston State has a lot to offer our ag community, and she really wants to build that, so I'm excited. She's also interested in coaching a range judging team, so she's a super young gal and very motivated, and so I'm pretty excited about that. We did orientation for about 20 new volunteers this fall for 4-H, which is unbelievable. I think I've hosted 3 sessions now of volunteer training, just to get them up to speed, which is a great response from our community because of the growth in our 4-H program. So I believe that that will just continue to grow. I also did 2 sessions of new family orientation just because of all of our new families that came in this year. We did a beef selection, feeding, and fitting clinic in November. Levi Hall from Horizon Resources is also partnering with us to help with our livestock program. And so Levi was generous enough to come in and do a clinic for us. And we'll also offer a couple others in the spring for other livestock species. We had our fall awards banquet, record attendance at that as well for 4-H at the Lutheran Church. We also hosted a volunteer leader training that's a statewide training this year. So that was the first time we've had that in our community for a really long time. I was excited to be able to do that. I just have a list of things that I've done. We had our county office coordinator training as the office coordinator for our local office. I have to be trained yearly, and that was a really good event for me. I did gain some insight on how to do better job in my leadership locally. I'm also going to be chaperoning National 4-H Congress in the spring, and that's a trip that the state 4-H pays for me to go and chaperone that. We were fortunate to have Aubriana Stolick selected to go. She's a local youth here in Williston, and she was selected to attend National Congress. So she also became a state ambassador just 2 weeks ago, I believe, or 3. So very, very nice opportunity for her. North Dakota Crop Improvement and Seed Association. I'm the Western Area representative. We just had our local meeting, and so we'll continue to provide that program in Williams County. We have a lot of premier seed growers in Williams County. In fact, I think we are probably close to number 1 as far as number of seed growers here. So that's a program I'm really proud of, and they've asked me to step up and be a larger part of that because we have so many growers in Williams County. So I'm serving as the Western Regional Rep for that. I have my big year for pesticide training this year, so we'll certify over 100 applicators again this year. Every 3 years, I have a really large year. Last year, we certified over 80. The year before was around 70. So this is our big year, so I'll have multiple pesticide trainings this spring. We have our wheat show coming up. So right now we're in the throes of really getting all of that promotional stuff out for that. I have really stepped back in terms of the wheat show. The board has set up the speaker alignment this year, and I've asked that they make the arrangements with the hotel and do kind of the meals and all of that. So really my office's job is now just putting together the program, the brochures. I follow up with the speakers and that type of stuff, but I'm stepping back just because it's a very large event, and I need a break. It's one of those activities that I feel like needs to be run by that board, and then we can provide that background assistance. So that's really my role now with that, is really, I've taken that back quite a bit. The bread fair, Tammy in my office has done a fantastic job. She's gotten all of our supplies ordered. I've reached out to our sponsors. Dave Hulsman is retired, but his daughter Vanessa has taken over that company. So she is under a new name, but they will be supplying all the honey again. The North Dakota Mill will be supplying all of the flour again. Horizon Resources helps us get the flour here, and then we do a large setup day. LaSalle Corporation out of Wisconsin has donated all the yeast again. So we've got big donations for that. And our numbers are really up. 32 schools last year. This year, I think we have 36 signed up right now. So that's Eastern Montana and Western North Dakota. And now we've moved somewhat into Central North Dakota as well. So we're hoping to kind of push that. We presented this program at Fall Extension Conference 2 falls ago, and it's really starting to take off. People are asking for the information. North Dakota Wheat Commission is our big sponsor for the curriculum, The Story of Wheat. And so we feel like that program will continue to grow. So 1,600 is where we're starting. We do have enough for 2,000 youth if we need to use that. When I request for the donations, they're always happy and they send us more than we need. So commodity elections will also happen this spring. So soybean commodity election, and I think I have 2 others, barley and one other one that I have to do this spring. Stop the Bleed trainings, we are going to start that this year in cooperation with the School of Nursing at NDSU. And these are trainings for our youth. Actually learned this at the West Farm Safety Camp, but we're going to be hosting it now in our county for farm and ranch families as well as first responders. It's Stop the Bleed training through the School of Nursing at NDSU and NDSU Extension Williams County. So we'll be offering those this spring. Caitlin's going to become a certified trainer for that for us because she has her medical background, so she's a shoe-in for that. But we will also present on the farm safety side. I'm also looking at I actually am putting together a Design Your Succession Plan class for farm and ranch families. That will be in February. It'll be a 3-session class. This is an extremely popular program throughout the state, and we have not seen that here since 2018, so we're going to try to get that kicked off. And then a grant writing workshop for nonprofits. I got certified to teach grant writing this fall, and so I will be hosting that. And I just heard yesterday from the chamber that they would like to co-host with me. So that'll be offered to all area nonprofits free of charge because we're extension, we don't have to charge for it. So lots of other stuff on the agenda. Spring beef weigh-in is going to be January 7th. For our 4-H kids, I'll do our Youth for Quality Care of Animals training for our youth throughout the spring. I'll hold 3 sessions of that. Our Ag Improvement Annual Meeting is January 18th, and we'll bring in a couple speakers on soil health and soil regenerative agriculture. And I usually do that in cooperation with the Conservation District. So building lots of partnerships, that's really what I've worked on the last couple of years, is just really bringing all of these other organizations in. Our Project Expo, which is a 4-H spring contest, is at the end of January. And then the KMOT Ag Expo, I'll go present for youth and agriculture at that for a couple sessions. I'll work on ag careers and ag exploration for youth. So that sees about 500 to 600 youth. So that's a nice outreach for myself and other agents that participate in that. So I have more, but that's what I'm doing now. I didn't want to kill everybody with everything, but it's been a really busy fall. And like I said, I'm taking some much needed time off this month. I've only worked a few days a week, and I'm losing a lot of vacations, so I need to get some used. So, but I hope we can keep you guys updated every few months. We would like to see at our Extension Advisory Council if you have thoughts or ideas that we can do in the community as far as outreach. I think building our partnerships has really been kind of our goal between the three of us. We know that Extension wasn't really on the map for a while, and we feel like that's some of the area I think we've improved greatly. But we would love your feedback if you see needs or you hear of things that are not being met within the communities. And I say communities because we have multiple. We know that our programming up in the Tioga area needs to improve. We haven't reached that community very much, so I would really like to have any suggestions of things we can offer in those areas. So, thank you.
What's the date for the next advisory meeting?
I think we have it scheduled for January 9th. I think it's January 9th, but I will send that out to all of you to confirm that. So,
Oh, full plates
yep.
in a lot of different ways, very, very literally.
Yeah, yes, we are, and I think we're finally a full team. So it's nice to have. We're meeting all the segments of the public we've been trying to meet since I got here. So,
Fantastic.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, great work. Okay. Helen, I believe you are up.
One addition to last meeting's appointments. We know that we have appointed Bo to the Tri-County Development Council. I always want to add economic in there, but it's not in there. Tri-County Development Council. But there are some times when their meetings conflict with another board that he's on our behalf, I think. So our intention was to have Lindsay go as an alternate, which they told us we could do. But then they told me after the meeting that they need this board to officially designate her as a alternate. So if Bo can't go, he would send Lindsay. So could the board do that for me?
What are the wishes?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Brenda, roll call vote.
Bo,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes, motion passes.
All right, thank you. So on your position report, you'll see we do have a position at the sheriff's office that we are seeking permission to fill, and it's the medical provider. We've talked about this over the last couple of years, and we do have it in the budget. There are rules and stipulations that we must have a medical director. It's someone who's analyzing the medical operations of the jail. And then we have been taking inmates out of our facility and to a local clinic in order to receive medical care. That local clinic, we have been notified, will not be providing that service in 2024. And the Corrections Department did reach out to other clinics in the area. And at this point, no one is super excited to have inmates coming into their facility, of course, escorted by corrections officers. So we think this is the time, we've known that it's been coming, that we need to hire someone who would be working internally in the facility. It's not only safer for our officers, there is some risk in taking people out into the world who would like to sometimes get away, but also just overall more efficient in terms of time and effort. So we did advertise that position already, pending your approval. Of course, we wouldn't take any action until we had your approval, but we did want to start that process to get a little bit of a head start.
Okay, so you're looking for approval for one position or three?
Yeah, so that's the explanation on the medical provider.
Oh, okay.
The other piece is that we have 2 corrections officer positions that we've held open. We didn't fill this year. The sheriff has indicated that they may need to fill those shortly. We anticipate that we have some people leaving to go on to other law enforcement jobs, and so it would be to be preparing for them to go.
Okay, what are the wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion to approve the 3 position requests.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Brenda, roll call vote?
David,
Yes?
Barry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank
Do you
you.
have anything for me? Okay.
All right, then we are adjourned.